no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
What is this layout about? Hey, everybody. What the heck is going on here? How's everybody doing today? Good, I hope. Good, I hope. Man, I was stuck in traffic. I was stuck in traffic, and so I'm completely unprepared. So, as usual, please bear with me. Stand by. Melissa's back from work. Hey, Melissa, how's it going? I'm going to let you say hello for a couple of minutes so that I can get situated here. You go ahead. How's it going?
Hey, I'm good. Yeah, I'm back. I know at least a couple of days off. Guess I had to pull my mic closer to me. So, I have at least a couple of days that I know I'm off. I had sent you a message, I don't know, like yesterday maybe. And I said, hey, I'll definitely be home on Thursday. You want to do a live? And then I ended up getting home at 4 o'clock this morning, slept till 9:30, and have been at the hospital until about 30 minutes ago. So we're plugging along here. So I'll say hello to Root Strength. Hey, and I know I had heard in a couple of your lives, I was watching a lot of them as I was driving. I know several people have asked, and it's just that time of year, guys. I maybe get 24 to 48 hours at home. And then I have to go back. So it's really rough to try to get on here with you. And I try to keep in contact when I can, but it's hard. So hello, Root. Hope everybody's well. Hello, Carrie Bailey. I know, right? I think this is 3 days in a row Char's been on. Hello, Blue Jay. Hi, Char. I'm hoping to be able to get good service for your life. Well, hopefully you are. Hello, Angelina. Hope to see you later, you cute little devil, you. Little Black Bear and Miss Bell. Hello. Hello, yes, ma'am, and Share Cares. What time's the live? We have one. We're on now, so I think you had it set for 7:15.
I think this means you're behind in chat, Melissa.
Oh yes,
Use
I
the
am.
t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I love that. Oh shit, Char's behind in chat. Yes, I love that. 1 hour to take cover. Well, hopefully, Share Cares, you are doing well. Hey, Ian. Another child missing. Just watching Justin. Yeah, I seen that. Julie wishes I had shared that as well. Hello, Carrie and Mike and Baby Monkey. Hello, Michelle James and Pinky, Kimberly, Bonnie, Cindy, Cindy Sperry. I always want to say Perry. I always want to miss the S there. Hello, Lynn. And I am way behind here. Matt as a catter. Hello, Dodie. Hello, Helicopter Grandma. My beautiful people. Good to see you all. Sending love and light to everyone. Justice for Jack and Lily. We will not stop. Cannot wait to hear from our beautiful shore. Very true there. I never thought when this case started that we would be here 13 months later. Thank you, Helicopter Grandma, for the $5 super sticker. Hello, Bev JCB. Oh, look, there I am. Hello, Belinda Believes. And Sinister Nanny. And let's see. I'm not as good as at this as you are. I am so tired. I can't even talk. Hey, Corbin. Welcome in. Ori, hello. Yeah, I'm here for today. I had sent Shar a picture of how dark I am, and I was just telling her I was laughing because I noticed today in the mirror that what the F lines in between my eyebrows, they're white. Everything else is dark. It's kind of funny. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. I'm trying to go quicker here. Hello, Ernestine and Anna. Camilla Senor? I don't know. I probably just fucked that up. Hey, Shannon RV and Debbie. Noni, hello. And Carrie Bailey. I don't know if I said you yet or not. Jane Doe, hello. Hey, Jam to the Jam. Melissa Topple. I know several times I was watching Chart, you're live, and you would say Melissa, and I would look up going, what? I didn't say anything. And then I seen it was Melissa Topple. It got me a couple times now that you've read one of her things, and I'm like, huh? I heard my name. What? Hey, Peace Spice and Bonnie. I'm skipping over these, so hopefully you're checking them. Leanne, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
I can't even see where you are.
I am way behind in chat, honestly. I'm at like 7:20, so you take over for a second.
Holy smokes, 7:20. You're like 10 minutes behind in chat. So if we miss you, sorry. Hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, mods, for joining today. 13 months. And I said yesterday that it was, I don't know, it was hitting a little bit different than the 12 months for some reason. And I don't know why. And then I started thinking about it last night. And the amount, like, I talked to a lot of you, like dozens of people from YouTube will message me, email me, whatever. And, you know, I came to realize that a lot of people seem to be struggling. And I don't think it's just this case, but the frustration, the heartbreak, um, the bullshit that goes on, it adds to it. And so in honor of Jack and Lily today, you guys, I want to talk about mental health. And I want to talk about bullying and the things I think that are getting a lot of people down. And like I said, I realize it's 13 months, and without having a bunch of new pictures and stuff like that to show, I want to try to steer away as much as we can today about talking about the crap that goes on. And I would put a call out to everybody, to anybody that engages in the online harassment and bullying and bullshit, to, give it a break for a day, for today. Just can we not troll people? Can we not call people out? Can we not be harsh? Because we all learned in grade school that bullying is not, it's not good. If you're, usually somebody that bullies is a victim of being bullied, and it's just this vicious cycle that I think as adults we should be able to stop and understand that even if we don't agree with somebody, and even if we cannot stand what somebody does, what they stand for, the shit they say, whatever, why, like, I just don't. I hope people can just give it a break because the world is hard. Life can be tough for people, and this is just we're being attacked and brought down because we care about two missing children, and there's just something inherently wrong with that. So I feel like today of all days is a good day to talk about mental health. And so trigger warning if this isn't for you, by all means, we'll see you next time. But for for any donations that I receive today, I'll be making a donation to the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia. I'll post the link on my community page as well. If you don't want to donate to me, you want to donate directly to them. And it's just, you can do it in Jack and Lily's name, you can do it in your own name, whatever. But it's something to maybe try to raise our spirits a little bit because there's so much junk, there's so much shit that we consume each and every day in true crime community. And then you add on all the shit that we have to deal with in our personal lives. We have health issues, we have breakups, we have people like death in the family, and all these things, work stress, home stress. Life can be hard. And I don't think that this hobby of ours, this interest of ours, should add to our our mental health well-being. And so that's what I'd like to do today. So like I said, trigger warning, but I would like people in the chat to, if you're comfortable, if you're not comfortable, then don't. But what are some of the things that you guys do if you're having a bad day? Because I don't care who you are, everybody has a bad day. And you look at somebody like Ian, who he goes through a lot of shit. He really does. But he gets up every morning and I don't understand how he does it. And some days I want to strangle him because of it. But he could be going through the worst day ever and he will find a smile to put on his face and go find something that he loves doing. And for me, my big thing, my saving grace is music, any kind of music. I will pump out music so loud that I can't even hear my own thoughts. And I come across so many beautiful songs, uplifting songs. I love heavy metal. I love, I'm a Swiftie. Taylor Swift, don't come for me. I don't give a shit. Um, anything, any playlist that's going to lift my spirits. And I don't even care if it's dark metal. Sometimes that will get me going. And, we all have something that we can go to when we're having those really terrible days. And I'm interested to know what you guys do for yourselves on days like that. And by doing that, hopefully, we're going to give other people who are struggling ideas on how to cope. And there's a couple of YouTube videos that we'll watch, and then we'll look into some of what the schools do for kids when it comes to bullying. And I hope you're all interested in doing stuff like that. Look at all the friggin' donations. You guys are amazing. What is this? I gotta go all the way down. Now I've been now I've been diatribing on my soapbox. Um, yeah, the only content has been drama, and that's what I'm putting the call out for. Like there's no reason for it, and I have my own thoughts and my own feelings about what certain channels decide to, you know, spend their time doing. And I want to ask them, are you helping? Are you helping the case? Are you helping your viewers? I don't give a shit if you're helping me or not because, you know, it's water off a duck's back, but how are you helping? What are you doing that's going to positively impact the people who go to you for their distraction or their information? If you don't have an answer to that, or if your answer is I don't care, I mean, what more can I say about that? Just give it a break for a day or two. Try being positive. Try to spread awareness and keep Jack and Lily's names out there without smearing and ruining people. Try that. You probably feel better about yourself. And I also said yesterday, I'm sorry, Melissa, I'm going on, but I also said yesterday that, I snapped at somebody and I do feel bad that I snapped. But, you know, y- I don't know what life would be like if I looked at everyone around me with, like, through a side eye, like, assuming the worst from them. Like, people inherently are good, I think. And the reason why we're all here is because Jack and Lily are missing and we all care and we want answers. And it gets out of hand sometimes. I'm the first to admit it and take ownership of my part in the shit. But we can we can be adults about it and realize that if any missing child were here, would they understand what is going on online? Would they understand that it's all just because we care so much? Would it matter to them that all of these adults are being vicious? I don't think so. I think they wouldn't get it. And you know what else it would do? It would teach them that that's normal behavior for adults. So I feel like I'm lecturing people. I don't mean to, but you know what I mean? Helicopter grandma, thank you. Thank you. Roots. Perfect. Mental health really does. Gem to the gem. I'm genuinely concerned for some people. Me too. It's gotten far and too many lies. People need to stop clickbait, stop clicks and views, stop harassing, just stop. Thanks, Shar, for doing this. I'll get it started. Thank you. Jack and Lily, we will never ever forget you or stop talking. Right. That's all we can do. April, thank you very much for that money, that donation. I appreciate you all. No, you guys, you have to not say what you're doing. Ori, you're too fast. Free 24 hours, yeah, Canada helpline. Um, Indigenous support. You guys get your pens out. Write this stuff down if you need it. Don't be shy to reach out. Sing, right? Okay, I sing in the car by myself. I would never, but yeah, sing, write, draw, hiking, distract, right? I really feel the crap is going to slow down with some channels coming down. Getting back to the facts and trying to find answers as a team is the best approach. We can hope, Ernestine, but I have a sneaking suspicion that's not what's happening there. But I really hope that people can just focus. Why are you here? Why are we doing this? And is what you're doing helping? I'm usually an optimist. I will mow grass, water plants, clean house. Beautiful. I've had a very hard life and my faith keeps me going. I also draw and go to the gym. Distractions and faith is a big part of it for a lot of people. Hey, Share Cares. It's been a year, let me tell you. I need to go outside and music as well. And talking to my beautiful sons and daughters-in-law and my grandson, and God bless my new grandchild due in December. Absolutely. Family helps too, yes. Um, it's been one of those days, Jilly Bean. It really has. It could because you stop and you think about what everybody life can be hard and what everybody is going through at home. They still care about Jack and Lily, so they come online and this is what they see. This is what they see online. It's no facts anymore. It's just infighting. Why? I listened to Unfuck Your Brain on audiobook. Yeah. Audiobooks are good. Podcasts are good. As a single mom, I have no choice but to get up and show up. For a lot of years, that was me too. Yeah. A good healthy meal. Yep. Sinister. Thank you so much. I sit and knit to shut my brain down. Knitting is good. You have to focus on that. Go and sit by the riverbank and listen to the water passing. It's amazingly peaceful. Music saved me since I was a young child and it helps me. Same. There is nobody on this planet, I'm telling you right now, that can beat me in a name that tune competition. Just 2 beats, got it. Except for the newer songs, I won't. But yes, ma'am. A long hike in the woods is all I need. It works 100% of the time. Yeah, a distraction, whatever brings you peace, and that's what I'm interested in, to give other people ideas on how to cope. If it works for you, it'll work for somebody else. I also walk my duck. You have a duck? Well, that's enough to beat depression right there. I have a duck story. Remind me later. Knit, crochet, sew, puzzle, shopping, hang out with grandkids, read a book, watch a comedy. Yeah, my dogs and cats give me comfort. And music. Thank you, Lori Magnetti. Sorry. I appreciate that. My sister has Alzheimer's. I've been taking care of her. My mother passed 2 weeks ago, and I have other shit. My poodle helps me feel better. She gets me out, and she's fun. CB, I'm so sorry that you're going through all of that. It's got to be extraordinarily difficult for you. And then you come here, and you come to YouTube, and you see all the shit, and you see the heartbreaking story that Jack and Lily are still missing 13 months in, and you can't find any information anymore. All you get to hear is the slinging of mud. I'm so sorry to everybody that it's become what it is. It's not the intention. Like, absolutely no offense to Sunny because she is my friend, but in what world is Sunny the positive channel to go to? Do you know what I mean? She's very to the point. She calls a spade a spade. She's very unhappy about this case. But lately, she's where you go when you want the drama free just to talk about the case. You know what I'm saying? That's the environment that we've created. And I'm saying we because I feed into it. When I snap back, just because I feel like I have the right to, I'm feeding into it. I'm feeding the beast. And I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just not. If that's what makes you feel better to bring other people down, then I can only hope people stop watching you. And I've never said that before. But learn watercolor painting from YouTube videos. Do dogs or scenery. It's relaxing and fun. Has helped me cope this year. Oh, that's awesome, Julie. Yeah, me either. Like I've reached my breaking point with it. I really have. Yesterday was next level behind the scenes, and I can't justify engaging anymore. My grandbabies take away every bit of pain and hurt when I'm with them. They have a way of doing that. They truly do. When I'm going through a rough day, I call my very best friend, and she always has time for me, and she knows how to lift my spirits. Friends are so important. Friends are so, so important. Me too, and water and peace in my life. Yes. I love to go to the beach and look for rocks. That's amazing as well. Nice and peaceful. Belinda believes, thank you for that. That's very kind. I had emergency heart surgery 2 years ago. I hope you're better. Fishing is your thing, Lynn? That's awesome. I did get your message. I just literally sat down 3 minutes before we went live. If you don't believe me, ask Melissa. Crazy. Before I go to sleep every night, I think about what went well today, at least one thing, instead of thinking about what didn't go well. That's amazing advice. That's amazing advice. You focus on what you did well and not dwell on what you regret. I have this saying and I say it to everybody, and those who know me know what I mean now, but if somebody is dwelling too much, and even for myself, I just have to say the one word, windshield, because there's a reason why that windshield is so much bigger than the other mirrors. It's because what's ahead of you is so important, so much more important than what's back there. It's important to check back. It's important to keep your eye on it, but you got to look forward. And that's for a long time. That's what I did when I found myself dwelling and just commiserating, and my brain would attack me. Windshield. And sometimes it would be so loud I would have to say it out loud just to snap out of it. Windshield. That doesn't matter anymore. It sucks. But I'm going to watch it so it doesn't creep up on me again. The windshield. It's all that matters. People are only human, absolutely, and they do want to defend themselves. There's egos. There's all kinds of reasons why people do the things that they do. But if we stop and think that we are doing this coverage for a little boy who turned 5 and a little girl who turned 7 that are still missing, these children deserve better from the adults who claim to care. Forgive yourself first. The negativity shouldn't be attached to these precious children. Thank you. Whenever I'm having a bad day, I turned on my music and low in the background and I just listened. It mellows out. It sure helped me. Yeah. It's my best friend in the world, my music. I'm very introverted, always have been, but best friend in the world right there is music. And I'll give you a couple of songs too. I can't play them here, but what? Go ahead, Melissa.
I mean, we've all had times lately here where I know you and I both, where we have snapped back at people who have come at us. And whether we felt justified in doing so or not, it really did feed into the drama. And I mean, for me, when I get in my moods, my nieces and nephews I just go hang out with them. It doesn't matter what we're doing. They always have a unique way of pulling me out of whatever funk I'm in. And my brother as well. They and it's I don't even have to be by them. It's like they know. They know, hey, Aunt Melissa's having a really bad day. Maybe we should give her a call or send her a meme or whatever. And when I turn to music, there is a song. It's great. If people walk, this is a great song to walk to, whether you're in your feelings or you're whether happy, sad, angry, whatever. It's Adele, Rolling in the Deep. Walk to the beat of the music and it will help you feel better. It really will. But I turn to family more than anything. And it's rough, like for me, not just the online stuff, but I have so many health issues that sometimes I get in my head and I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm not going to fight anymore. Just whatever happens, happens. And sometimes that gets me down. Or if I start thinking of Nick or things like that. I showed up to work last week and we have a new guy. And I took a picture and I sent this picture to my nephew because I was cracking up laughing. It was one of those. I had taken one of our guys to the laundromat, and it's, one of those, if you need snow plowing done or whatever. And I'll have to share the picture later to you and you'll understand what I mean. But it didn't look right the way that this poster was worded. And so I took a picture of it, dying laughing, sent it to my nephew. I said, what does this say? Look at it and tell me what the top line says. And he just sends back a laughing emoji, like 10 of them. And he said that he showed it to the employees and they all said the same thing that I said. And he said one of the guys' names. I'm like, who's that? Like, we don't have somebody by that name. It was a new employee I hadn't met yet. And I showed up and I was talking with my nephew and I said, okay, so who's this person? And I said his name. And he said, it's him. And I turned and it was dark. And the boy had his hood up. He had a hoodie on. He had the hood up. And my nephew was giving me a hug at the same time I turned to look at this young man. And I stopped dead in my tracks. And I grabbed my nephew by the head and I said, he looks like Nick. I said, I've got to walk away. I can't look at this boy. Like, I had already been thinking of Nick that day. it just really struck me. And so I took a minute, I had a cry, I come back, and I pulled up Nick's photo and I said, "Tell me you don't see the resemblance." And I held it up, and each and every one of the guys was like, "What the they could see it. And I turned and I showed it to the boy that was new, and he's like, "Oh my god, we could be twins." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." It's freaky. And I felt like I had been rude to this boy because I just walked away. Like, I didn't say hi to him, nothing. I just walked away because I had to wrap my head around it. Like, I know I buried my son, but you look just like him. So I called him Nick Jr. all week. I didn't call him by his name. I just called him NJ all week. And so, like, little things like that, like, even if you're in a funk, you have to find some sort of comedy or something that brings you out of it. Because if you sit in it, it gets worse. You can't just sit there and focus and dwell on, well, this went wrong and that went wrong. You have to find some sort of, even if it's just the fact that you woke up and you are above ground, you have to focus on the one thing that is right.
Wow, that would be incredibly jarring to see somebody that looked like your son. And I mean, you're very strong, Melissa. Very strong. Um, there have been a ton of really nice things in the chat that I do want to get to, but like, oh my gosh, you guys, we're never gonna we're never gonna get to watch my little videos. Um, um, just give me a sec. I need to go back up. If I miss any, like you guys all have really great, um, great. I start some, so I'm gonna do that.
So everybody is telling Shannon happy birthday. Happy birthday. But I did have a question for you. You said in your live the other day that Harley was muddier than he had ever been before. Does that include the last time he decided to go out and get dirty? Oh,
Yeah, like I think like it was probably the same mud though, but it stuck to him more heavy. And like he wasn't just like muddy dirty, he was like black from like the hips down all the way his and then today when I was finished staying and I had to run downtown, which is why I was almost late, not quite, but almost late. But I was gone maybe an hour, you guys. And I came back when I left, Harley was poofy and blonde and beautiful. When I came back, he was just standing there happy because he is covered in mud again. So
he is
it's
living his
super hot
best
though.
life now that he's home.
Yeah, well, that's just it. And he just looks at me like it's the greatest day ever whenever he's super muddy. So how can you get mad? I it is what it is. But yeah. He finds a way to get muddier than the last time every time. Mhm. Helicopter grandma quote of the day: if you can't do anything about it, then let it go. Don't be a prisoner to things you can't change. We can be there, but that is all we can do. Hugs to all, right? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I have that hanging on my wall too. Stuff like that helps me. It just helps me. Um, Genuinely consider. I think I read that one. Thank you for that. Who? Oh, okay. Wow, you guys. It's time to hang up on the problem instead of each other. Facebook quote of the day. Absolutely. Gren, thank you for that. You're very kind. And Ernestine, again, thank you. You are our reason. That's why we're here. And that in and of itself should be enough to check our egos at the door. It should be. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. I'm not going to argue with that. We all do. We all absolutely do. Jam again, thank you so much. I have a duck, Kevin's. I have his best friend dog, Moose. We have a goat named Finn. Also, my 3 grandkids, 2 kiddos, and beautiful wife, 2 amazing godparents, all under one roof. Wow. I used to cry back at the beginning of the case. I did things to help spread awareness, and I got out of chat groups because they became toxic. Now I go out with my dog and listen to great music. That's great. And I did the same. Like, I left the Facebook groups because, wow, holy shit, wow. But the content is just, it's not the way it used to be. JJ, I would like if you could reach out to me on Facebook Messenger, please. Um, you need to reach out and seek help. But if you want to talk to me, please reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. The phone thing, no. But I will talk to you. Um, if one of my mods wouldn't mind putting my full name in the chat for JJ so they can look me up, please. It's just what I'm talking about, you guys. You have no idea what people are struggling with. No idea. I truly hope you reach out, JJ, and fast motorcycle ride. I used to, yeah. I'm getting my nerves aren't the way they used to be. I used to I ride a street bike, and it's not the same as a bagger or a cruiser. And now I have this cruiser, and I just feel like it's so big, and my nerves get the better of me. I'm just not comfortable. So I'm probably gonna go back to a street bike, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Living this life and seeing how people are being rude, and there was so much hatred. There's times you have to break and snap and just get it off your true. Aquariums do help. Well, thanks, Ron. You're older than me, remember? Sitting by the lake, it is. And if nobody's tried it before, and this sounds like hoodoo voodoo shit, but it's not. And my auntie used to do it all the time. We call it grounding. And you go outside in grass in your bare feet and walk around the grass. And it just, I don't know. There's just something about it that just, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better. I got false pretty much. We did that one already. So 86 comments behind in chat. This is amazing. Everybody is having a good time talking about mental health. Char, name that tune. You guys want a playlist? Well, the first song that I will give you that has meaning for me, but it also helps lift me up. It's from Shine Down, and the song is called Atlas Falls. And it's not the band, it's not the song, it's the lyrics. It's very, very relatable to anybody who gives a shit about this case and the stuff that we see going on. I will listen to that song over and over again, full blast on some days. How am I talented? What are you talking about? What'd I say? I'm that far behind, am I? I probably am. Let me just scooch to the bottom. Sorry, everybody. All right. I don't know who else here, who all came in. If I missed anybody, you know I love you. Right? Family is the best. 2.5 years. Yes, family is the greatest. We can, I don't know what people are saying. Everybody's saying thank you to April. Thanks, April. I don't know what you did, but thank you. Happy birthday, Shannon. Happy birthday, Stevie. Absolutely. Awesome. The Serenity Prayer. Oh, are we there? That's not bad. That's not bad. I just did that. That's not that far behind. Oh, Stevie Wonder, yes, happy birthday. Thank you for being here. Love is patient. Love is kind. And if you, yeah, like I said, if you can't see past your hatred of other people online that you've never met and you would prefer to tear them down, ruin careers, whatever, because you don't agree with what they say and what their opinions are, maybe you need to just take a break and, you know, I don't understand it. I truly don't understand it. And I guess I'm kind of pleading with people to just leave each other alone. Not me. Like, fill your boots, have a party. And Sunny, like, she cares just about as much as I do. But there are people who aren't content creators who are just looking for answers that are being destroyed. So there we go. JJ, there it is. That's really me. I'm not pretending to be anybody. So you've reach out to me on Facebook Messenger and we can talk as much as you need. Sport bikes, crotch rockets. I'm talking like a street bike. A street bike. Little fat boy. It's my style, my Dyna, my lowrider. I'm not into the crotch rockets. Those are dangerous. Is Joe here? Better be good. No Mercy, thanks for joining today. Okay. Jade Robson, why do I know your name? People expose themselves in the end, and seems like a lot of people that have tried to insert themselves into this case has done just that. Do they know where the kids are? Do they have information about what happened to Jack and Lily? Um, are they impeding the investigation so far that the RCMP are being hindered by their opinions? Those would be my questions before I would talk about exposing anybody or bringing any kind of truth out that doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Jack and Lily. The focus needs to be on Malaya and on Daniel and figuring out where the kids went under their watch. Anybody else who's inserting themselves, if they're local, the RCMP should know about it and they should be following up on that. But the rest of it, they're just online commenters. I bathe in the trees near me, sit close to the big trees. Really? Is that true? Is that true, Pea Spice? Grounding is really great. Yes. Yes. There's nothing like it. It's hard to explain, but I love it. Yeah, it is a great song. Shine Down. No. No, but Shine Down does a lot of songs that are about mental health, about recovery. I absolutely love Shine Down. I really do. But Atlas Falls, go listen to it. I'll post the lyric video on my community so anybody can click on it, but definitely it's one of my go-tos. And then Taylor Swift, Calm Down. That's a really good one for our situation as well. Love it. I wish I could catch everything. 1990 GSXR 1100. You are nuts. You're nuts. Shine Down is the bomb. Yeah, agreed. Okay. Thank you all for the great advice for how you deal with bad days. Um, you know, like I say, you never know who your idea is going to resonate with, and it could help somebody else. So I think it's important. And again, it just in honor of Jack and Lily. Obviously, this has nothing to do with the case. It's got a lot to do with the case coverage, but it's got really very little to do with Jack and Lily. But if we can put a positive spin on such a dark topic, then I think it's valuable. It's how I choose to spend this 13-month. I won't even call it an anniversary, but it's devastating. And I can't imagine if Daniel and if Malaya are innocent and they truly don't know where the kids are. 13 months with not knowing, how devastated would any of us be to be in their position? And I also came to a realization the other day as well. Everybody says, well, if Daniel's proven to be innocent, are you going to apologize? If Malaya's innocent, are you going to apologize? You know what? I don't think anybody's going to get an apology whether they deserve one or not. You know why? Koberger, Mackenzie Shirilla, these people that are so dead set that Daniel is guilty right now, if he's proven to be innocent in court or whatever, they're never going to change their mind. They're going to start their movement and freed or Daniel Martel is guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like they're never going to change their mind. They'll be the guilters, and there's that group in every single case. Richard Allen, Brian Koberger, Mackenzie Shirula, like all the cases, they all have their own groups of people that think they're completely innocent or people that think they're completely guilty, no matter what the court says, no matter what the jury decides. So I think we can give up on the thought that anybody's going to get an apology ever. Just my own personal opinion. My little crystal ball tells me that. Um, um, doo doo. Okay. Okay. Imagine the conspiracy theories. I like it'll be interesting to see, but even if there are convictions in this case, the conspiracies and the stories and the coverage for some will never ever stop. Ever. So where's the truth? I don't know. It's not on YouTube, Belinda. I'll tell you that. We learn little bits and pieces and we can talk through things. And we've built this community where we all feel like we can come and talk about our harebrained ideas. But I don't have any delusions about solving this case. Never have. I just want to keep their names and faces out there. I do too, Jilly. I hope this case causes some changes in protocols for the Child and Family Services Act. Look. Hey, Roseanne, thank you, Shar, very much for your open mental health discussion. Very helpful to everyone, in my opinion. Jack and Lily deserve so much. They do. They do. And they wouldn't understand any bit of this. Not a bit of it. Not even if you stood up and said, I did it all for you. I think that they'd be like, okay, how did that help me? Because even, I'm not going to mention any names, but even going out and saying, oh, false information, you're spreading false information. What the fuck difference does it make on YouTube? You know, the police, the RCMP, they're all that matter when it comes to the facts. And the fact is, they're not sharing that with us. So we are left with rumors and speculation. And excuse me for saying it, but nobody, and I don't care if we're talking about the mother's side or the stepfather's side, nobody has the complete facts, especially if they truly don't know where the kids are. So I would argue stop saying that you're putting out false information because you have no idea what's true and what's not. And if you do, good for you. Share it with the public. Shut the fuck up. That's all we're doing here. We're speculating. We're talking about the rumors. We're trying to make it make sense. That's it. That's not worthy of attacks, in my opinion. And I don't care like who I'm talking. I could be right now. I could be referring to Daleen. I could be referring to Christine Inrig. I don't even care if I'm referring to Brad Turner right now. They're all the same. They're not involved in the disappearance of Jack and Lily. and their insertion or their involvement in the case coverage and the case commentary online isn't going to stop the police from solving the case, is my point. And if it is, then that's for the police to deal with on their terms. Obstruction, mischief, whatever. That's not for people to be trying to police the YouTube streets. That's just futile, in my opinion. In my opinion. And now I've fucking babbled again. Um, um, don't know what you guys are talking about, but let's be nice and chat. This is about mental health. So the last thing we want to do is make somebody feel like they're being attacked or, um, you know, just be nice. We need to step it up as professionals. Or what are we professionals? I'll tell you what my profession is, but I'll tell you what, it's not investigating the disappearance or doing even content creation. This was a hobby turned into a cause, I guess. But we can be adults about it. But I know certain people are going to turn this around as, I'm soft, I'm a pussy, I'm a pushover, I'm an idiot, I'm a clown, whatever. If that's what makes you feel better about yourself, go ahead. Go ahead. The oldest profession, you wish. You wish. Okay, Joe, go wait in the bus. Go wait in the bus. That's it. That's it. Okay. Do you want to talk for a minute while I pull up this video? Let's watch a little bit of how to deal with depression and stuff, right? Let's do that.
I don't really know what to say. I'm still, I think, almost half asleep at this point.
Sorry, just 1 second. I need to announce because a number of you were concerned, and I just noticed that I did hear from Daleen, so she's okay. Carry on. Sorry.
Hey, monsters of chaos. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I mean, we all have our own ways of dealing with days that we're down, and I think it's a lot of trial and error and finding out what works for you as a person. But it's definitely, I think, not a bad idea to discuss openly ways that we all deal with it, because something that helps you may help somebody else. Sorry
Okay,
if I
sorry.
seem a little off. I'm so tired.
Sorry. I was playing something, and then it's not the minivan, Christina. It's the short bus. It's specifically the Joe Neal and Ron Mexico short bus. Usually, once in a while, somebody else will have to go out there, but usually it's just for those two. Let me just see right here. And this, boom, boom, and add to stage. Now, keep in mind, please, I just cry a lot and hope I feel better tomorrow. Sometimes we need a good cry. We absolutely need a good cry. I will, Ori, I will pull it up while we watch this video. However, if you don't feel better tomorrow, when tomorrow comes and you still don't feel better, there has to be something else. You got to get up and like just do something for yourself. Self-care is so important as well. Okay. So you guys, I have not watched these videos. This one is all of 9 minutes long, but it looked how to cope with depression. And it's from the School of Life. And I don't mind it. So I'm hoping this video is good. Okay, so we're gonna do this for a few minutes. I'm gonna pull up that picture of the new short bus that we got for Ron and Joe, and we'll see you on the other side. Oh my God, of this video. We will see you on the other side of this video.
Almost half of us will suffer from depression at some point in our lives, but the condition remains badly misunderstood and therefore often poorly treated. At the heart of our collective difficulty with depression is a confusion about what it actually is, and in particular, how it can be distinguished from a state that all of us know very well and with which it has a distracting number of similarities, namely sadness. It's because we unwittingly tend to apply to cases of depression a number of assumptions drawn from and better suited to an understanding of sadness that we end up suffering far more than we should. There are, on the surface, some notable similarities between those who are sad and those who are depressed. Both groups cry, both withdraw from the world, both complain of listlessness and a sense of alienation from their normal lives. But there is one categorical difference between depression and sadness. The sad person knows what they are sad about. The depressed person doesn't. Sad people can, without difficulty, tell us what is troubling them. I'm sad that my grandmother has died, or that I lost my job, or that my friends are being unkind to me. And, though it might sound strange, this is precisely what the depressed person is not capable of doing. They may be tearful and at a very low ebb, but they can't conclusively put a finger on what has drained life of meaning for them. They simply say it has no meaning per se. They aren't depressed about X or Y, as one might be sad about X or Y. They are, first and foremost, simply depressed. The inability of the depressed person to account concretely for their mood can lay them open to unwarranted charges of faking, malingering, or exaggerating. Friends who begin in a well-meaning search for a soluble problem can end up frustrated by the lack of progress. When pushed, the depressed person may latch on to rather odd or minor-sounding issues to account for their state. They might complain that there's no point going to work because the Earth is due to be absorbed by the Sun in 7.5 billion years. Or they might insist that life lacks all meaning because they've just dropped a glass on the floor and everything is now completely hopeless. At this stage, one can hear it said that if depression doesn't have any sensible psychological causes, the problem must be bound up with some kind of imbalance in brain chemistry, which it would be kinder and more effective to treat with pills. An idea of great appeal to the pharmaceutical industry first and foremost, but also to worried families and schools and employers who crave rapid and cost-effective solutions. But there is another approach to depression, which, though slower and more arduous, may be a great deal more effective in the long term. This stems from insights drawn from psychotherapy, the discipline that has arguably been able to understand depression better than any other. The basic premise of psychotherapy is that the depressed person isn't depressed, as they suggest, for no reason. There is a reason. They are very distressed about something, but that something is proving extremely difficult to take on board and has therefore been pushed into the outer zones of consciousness, from where it wreaks havoc on the whole person, prompting boundless feelings of nihilism. For depressives, realizing what they are concretely upset about would be too devastating. So they unconsciously choose to remain dead to everything, as opposed to very distraught about something. Depression is sadness that has forgotten its true causes. Forgotten because remembering may generate overwhelming, untenable feelings of pain and loss. What might these true causes be? Perhaps that we've married the very wrong person, or that our sexuality isn't what we once believed, or that we're furious with a parent for their lack of care in our childhood. In order to preserve a fragile peace of mind, one then chooses, though that may sound more willed than it is in reality, to be depressed rather than to have a realization. We pick unceasing numbness as protection against dreadful insight. To make things yet more difficult, the depressed person doesn't typically consciously feel that they are in fact lacking insight. They're not aware of a gap in their self-understanding. Furthermore, they are nowadays often taught to assume that they are just depressed, as one might be physically ill, a verdict that can be of appeal as much to the pharmaceutical industry as to certain people close to the patient with an interest in insights remaining buried. There's another key difference to note between sadness and depression. Sad people are grief-stricken about something out in the world, but they aren't necessarily sad about themselves. Their self-esteem is unaffected by their grief, whereas depressed people will characteristically feel wretched about themselves and be full of self-recrimination, guilt, shame, and self-loathing paranoia that may at tragic extremes culminate in suicidal thoughts. For psychotherapy, the origins of these violent moods of self-hatred lie in anger due for, but unable to be directed towards, someone else in the world, that has then turned against the sufferer. Wrathful feelings that should have gone outwards towards a partner who's relentlessly defensive or denies one sex, or a parent who humiliated one in childhood. These feelings are instead driven back onto the sufferer and starts to attack them. The feeling, X has horribly let me down, turns into a very unpleasant but in some ways more bearable, I'm an unworthy and unbearable wretch. One becomes self-hating as a defense against the risks of hating someone else. Also worth noting in all this is that in many cases depression is associated with an apparently opposite mood, a kind of euphoric state termed mania, hence the term manic depressive. The mania in question looks from a distance a bit like happiness, just like depression can look like sadness. But in one area in particular, the relationship between mania and happiness is identical to that between depression and sadness. The common element is a disavowed self-knowledge. In mania, one is euphoric, but cannot go into one's own deep mind and discover its bitter truths, which explains one of the leading characteristics of manic people. Their habit of being in flight from themselves, talking too much about nothing, over-exercising, drinking, working continuously, or spending too much, all as an escape from a submerged grief, rage, or loss. It is from this kind of diagnosis that a suggested cure emerges. What people in depression need above all is a chance to arrive at insight. For this, they will tend to need a hugely supportive and patient listener. They may also, used appropriately, benefit from temporary use of medication to lift their mood just enough so that they can endure a conversation. But the assumption isn't that brain chemistry is where the problem either begins or ends. The despair is caused by an undigested, unknown, and unresolved trauma. Also, far from needing to be taken through reasons to trust that life is beautiful, depressives must be allowed to feel and to remember specific damage, and to be granted a fundamental sense of the legitimacy of their emotions. They need to be allowed to be angry and for the anger to settle on the right, awkward targets. The goal in treating depression is to move a sufferer from feeling limitlessly despairing to mourning the loss of something in particular. The last 20 years, a marriage, a hope one would be loved by one's father, a career. However agonizing the insight and mourning might be, these must always be preferable to allowing loss to contaminate the totality of one's perspective. There are plenty of dreadful things in every life, which is why it's wholly normal to feel sad on a regular basis. But there are also always a sufficient number of things that remain beautiful and hopeful, so long as one's been allowed to understand and know one's pain and anger, and adequately mourn one's losses.
Our Know Yourself cards can help us to better.
It wasn't terrible. I appreciated some of that, absolutely. And yeah, that brought up like another song for me too. Write this down. Pink, fucking perfect. That's what the song is called. And I believe she's more, singing to her daughter. But you know, it's just another good one about mental health and about how we see ourselves. and how our brains are normally our worst enemy, especially when we're having a bad day. It's our own brains that attack us. And if we allow it to speak negatively of us to ourselves, and this is strange, if we allow that narrative to happen in our head, we don't stand a chance. You have to train your brain to speak nicely about yourself. Teach your brain to like you. Teach your brain to love who you are. And you can do that. You honestly just have to understand that everybody has a bad day. Joe, there it is. Get out there. Get out there. What did you think of the video, Melissa? And I'll pull another one up here too. And like I said, I noticed like we have 129 people here. Thank you everybody for being here. But it's like this is important, especially the temperature of this case online and how social media is and how it's honestly been eating away at all of us for over a year now. Um, it's important that we talk about it and we just put it out there what we do to get through a bad day. And hopefully, this will help somebody, even if it helps one person, then it'll be worth it. And the money we raised to go towards the Mental Health Foundation in Nova Scotia in Jack and Lily's name um, makes this worth it. Anyways, what would you like to say about the video? What did you think, Melissa?
I thought it was pretty accurate. I mean, that is kind of, for me, one of the ways I know whether or not I'm sad or I'm starting to get depressed is whether or not I can determine, like, exactly put my finger on what is making me feel a certain way. So I thought it was pretty informative, but that is a good song from Pink. I love that song.
Like, I wish, like, if I was on TikTok, I'd be able to play these songs for you, but on YouTube, they wouldn't just copyright strike me and like demonetize me, whatever. They would actually take the video down. So instead of that, I will post some lyric songs on my community. So if you guys want to go and watch the videos, not the official music videos, but it'll just be the lyrics because the lyrics, I love a good beat, don't get me wrong, but the lyrics are what really resonate with me. And that's kind of what draws me to certain songs. And so I'll post those lyric videos on my community page for y'all to click on and listen. And we're just brainstorming ideas and how to deal with our mental health when it gets bad. And I know what it's like, and your brain is your worst enemy usually if you can't find your way out of it to realize how good you are. um you know so with that, here's, like I said, short bus. Thank you for reminding me, Ori. That is Joe Neal's home. There's more than enough room for Joe Neal and all of his guinea pigs, and once in a while for Ron Mexico. I don't think there's too much room for much else in that bus, but we'll invest in a bigger one if we had to. But yeah, cute, I think. Let's move on to the. Well, before we do that, I just want to. I'm going to pull this up because I was wondering when I was in school, and I don't know about you all, but when I was in school, they didn't teach anything about bullying. It was just kind of a rite of passage. As a rite of passage. Uh, write what out? The songs? Sure. I'll replace this banner with a banner with a couple of song suggestions. But anyways, when I was in school, we just knew if you were being bullied back then, like when I was in school, we didn't go to the teacher. We just, it sucked. We dealt with it. Scared to go to school because you'd get beat up or whatever, whatnot, right? But things have changed, and now there's this whole anti-bullying movement in school, and there are commercials and what are they called? Uh, like public service announcements out there where kids are actually creating groups that are monitoring for bullies, and they're standing up for kids who are being bullied, and so the schools started taking this on and started teaching about bullying in school. And even, as young as Jack's age when he went missing, great, like 4 years old, they start teaching children about bullying, and about empathy and compassion, and about how would you feel, that kind of needed conversation with children, because it starts so young, and it also starts at home, right? So anyway,
We were
I
just
pulled
told to
up,
suck it up.
I just did. What?
We were
We were
just
just
told oh, didn't fix the echo. Okay, so we were just told to suck it up, and you know, a lot of times our first bullies were one of our parents that would pick on us. I mean, I don't know if it was a generational thing. I don't know.
I do think it was definitely a generational thing, because I mean, times have changed, obviously, times have changed, but we're, I don't know, I don't know, right or wrong, it's just, they didn't, it was just the way it was. And like I said, almost treated like a rite of passage. Everybody has a bully, right? And then some parents would tell you to stand up to your bully, and, um, but other parents would bury their head in the sand and, hope for the best. And then, when we were parenting, at least my generation, when I was parenting my kids, it was all about, you need to stand up for themselves. You do not allow people to do that to you, because by high school, I got so fed up with bullies and stuff, and watching small kids who couldn't defend themselves get beat up over nothing because they had glasses on, or because they weren't wearing the latest fashion or whatever. And I couldn't stand it. And so I taught my kids, like, and don't get me wrong, they were still bullied, and it's super hard for kids to stand up to themselves, especially against a bully at school. Like I said a few live streams ago, I'm that grandma that if I find out my grandson at age 9 is being bullied, I'm counting the years until that little motherfucker that's bullying him is 18 so I can go deal with him, you know? But that's not right either, because what am I doing? I'm encouraging poor behavior. So it's very big learning. Anyways, I asked AI about bullying in schools. Yes, schools in Nova Scotia actively teach about bullying and implement strict prevention policies. The province mandates bullying and cyberbullying education through formal legislation, standardized provincial policies, and a heavy focus on healthy relationships. The province's approach to bullying is built into the education system through several key pillars: the provincial code of conduct, the education and awareness, restorative practices, and legal requirements. And then if you're a student and are experiencing bullying, resources and reporting procedures can be found on the Nova Scotia school safety page. And it is actually in in practice that if you're a teacher, or if you're in a position to deal with bullying and you choose not to, you can be held responsible or accountable for that. And that's a huge step too, right? Just my opinion, but I'll post the video on the community page, on the videos on the community page. But I'm gonna make a list during the next video that we'll watch. I'll make a list because I found there's a couple other ones too. Um, and some of them are corny sounding, whatever. But fight song, I cannot remember the girl's name who sings it, but I will figure it out. Um, Again, it's the lyrics that sometimes can help you. For me, anyways. So if it helps you, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then other days when I'm feeling like, you know, Like if I'm on my men, close your ears, but if I'm in one of my man-hating moods, I'll turn on like Dua Lipa and I'll listen to her songs like super duper loud, and it makes me feel really good, like much better about myself. Like I don't need no man type energy, you know what I mean? And it helps. It just helps. It helps. I don't know if you have anything like that, Melissa, but Dua Lipa, she is the queen of getting over a man. Or if you're really pissed off at your man in a day, listen to her for like an hour. You'll be good to go. Good to go. Uh, anyway, were you gonna talk and then I'll search this other video.
So I noticed in the last few years, like I don't know if there's a law. I want to say there's a law against it now where people can actually be charged with it. But where cyberbullying or bullying in person has led to self-deletion. And I put backstage. You would have to add it to the stage here on Wikipedia. They actually have a list of different victims of this. I don't know. Let me see if I can make this bigger here. But this wasn't something like that I really remember something, being prevalent. Maybe it happened and we just didn't talk about it. But like 15, 23, 19, 18, 29. This one was even a YouTuber. 26, 13. All of these people were literally bullied to death to the point that they just chose self-deletion as opposed to working through it. And again, I don't remember this being prevalent when we were younger. And again, maybe it was, maybe we just didn't hear about it. Maybe it wasn't talked about as much, because I remember one time in high school talking to my mom and she just said, suck it up. Everybody has a bully. Learn to deal with it. I was told, don't start it, but you better end it. Ignore them. They'll go away. They're just looking for a reaction. And that never worked out. But I'll put the link to this in the chat, but again, I don't remember this being as prevalent when we were younger as it is now.
I think that the conversation has opened up a lot more, so we do hear about it more. I remember in high school there were a couple of people, one friend, at obviously different times, but they did end their lives for, their own reasons, and it wasn't something that we didn't talk about that in polite society. You know what I mean? It wasn't a topic that we could, even if we were upset that our friend had done this, our parents weren't open to talk about it with us. And so I think that it happens a lot more often now, absolutely. And I've mentioned her before, but if we look into Amanda Todd, it was a different level, but she was extorted. She was harassed. She was bullied because this individual would send naked pictures of her to her schoolmates. It didn't matter what school she went to. She would be bullied and harassed and victimized over and over and over again, and they literally harassed her to death. 14-year-old little girl. And that was the first one that I remember that we could say, this is due to social media. And there have been many, many, many more, and that's probably not the first, and obviously not the last, but it does. Little Miss Sober, social media has desensitized people. People would rather film an injury than help the injured. right? Seeing things through a screen makes it not quite real somehow. And it's so wrong. It's so wrong. I just, what a sad, sad, sad thought that this makes things so that it's not. And I like we slip sometimes as content creators or people that talk to us and they say, I'd like to meet you in real life. And for me, this is not, it's not in person, but this is real life. I am not out here with with a fake persona, and people warn me all the time, oh, it's dangerous and blah blah blah. But this is a glimpse into who Charmaine is and into my life, and I tell you what I do during the day. I don't really share a whole lot about my work with you, but it's boring and dry and bullshit anyways. So I mean, this is real life. When we're sitting here together, to me, this is my real life. That's why, you know. Are you talking to me, Gren? Oh, toot strength. Good job. That was nice. Is that bullying, Roots? I miss the old days when society was much more innocent, but things still happened, Maria, but they just happened behind closed doors and we didn't talk about it. So it's a double-edged sword. It truly is, in my opinion. I honestly, you know, I don't know. All right. There is there are so many videos on, how to deal with depression, but the one do this everyday daily routine to fight off depression is one of them. Maybe I will share this YouTube search with you guys to go and do it, but obviously we don't have time to watch them all today. But I want to play this one. I should probably share my screen again, but I want to play this one for now while I go and type up some of those songs for you guys. And we'll talk about this video. And I have a tickle in my throat. I have to. Monsters of Chaos, I'm hiccuping, but I swear to God, I don't drink. There is no booze in here. This is Diet Coke. But I do have a hiccup. It's probably the carbonation. It's a hiccup burp. That's what it is. The morale is gone. It is. There is no morale here. There's no team here. I don't get it. Anyways, gonna do this. Gotta check my messages, and then I'm gonna do the songs for you guys. All right. Just a minute. Don't know why my brain froze there for a second. Okay, here we go.
Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you've given us. Our mission is to make mental health and psychology more accessible to everyone. Today, we've invited Emma McAdam, a licensed marriage and family therapist, to share her insights on depression and some tips on how to cope with it. Her channel is Therapy in a Nutshell. You can check it out in the link in the description below. With that said, let's get started. History of depression in my family and myself. Just like physical health, you have to maintain it by taking care of your body with exercise and eating the right food, and going to the doctor when you're injured or ill. With mental health, you also have to take daily action to be healthy. And when things are stressful, I have to take extra care to manage my mental health. So, for example, when I was in grad school, or when I'm pregnant or postpartum, and right now, when we as a global community are fighting a pandemic, we all have to take a little extra care of our mental health. What I'm going to talk about today is more about maintaining mental health than it is about getting out of the deepest pit of depression. When you're deep in a depressive episode, it can be really hard to see any light. It feels like you're at the bottom of a pit and can't imagine what it feels like to be out of it. At that place, often all you can do is tiny steps and hopefully get some help to get out of there. So don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed by my routine. Just choose one little thing to start with, and then take the next step when you can. Number one, morning routine. So the first thing I do every day is getting on my knees and praying. I express gratitude for the day and for my life and the opportunity I have to do good in the world. And that connection with God, for me, helps me feel loved and purposeful through my day. If you're not religious, you could do some meditation or a breathing exercise here. I try not to look at my phone first thing in the morning because I want to start my day intentionally, the way I want it to be. If I open social media, I'm letting others choose what I take in, and that could be positive, negative, stressful, uplifting, or critical. And so I just choose to start my day with some quiet time. I do a little reading, and then I write out my goals and priorities for the day. And right now, with all the news that's frightening, I choose to listen to the news around lunchtime, once a day, so that I don't get constantly stressed out and have time to process it during my waking hours. And speaking of waking hours, let's talk about sleep for a minute. I have 3 kids, 5 and under, so I usually wake up before them to get some quiet time to set my intention for the day. My natural wake up time is around 5 a.m. I don't usually set an alarm, but to wake up then, I often go to bed between 9 to 10 p.m. I'm not fighting my natural biorhythms. I just listen to my body, and this is the schedule that works best for me personally. For many people, they might have different sleep needs or a different schedule. Sleep is super important to managing depression. There's a massive correlation between sleep problems and depression. Lack of sleep can cause depression, and getting good sleep can actually let your brain heal from depression. So I really value my sleep. I have old friends who nicknamed me 905 because I often go to bed at that time and I miss out on some fun for sure, but it's what keeps me healthy, so it's worth it for me. For each person, your sleep needs are different, but getting enough sleep can really make a big difference. One study found that 87% of people with depression who resolved their insomnia significantly decreased their depression symptoms. Number two, get dressed and showered. Okay, so after waking up refreshed and taking quiet time to pray, study, and set my intentions for the day, I make sure to get showered and dressed. I found that this can be really hard when you're depressed, but being clean and dressed helps me feel more energetic and gets rid of my excuses. I mean, if I have yesterday's makeup all over my face and I'm wearing PJs, it makes it hard for me to want to go out and see friends or be social or get things done. So just get dressed for the day. Then I take my multivitamins, and if I remember, I take my omega-3 supplements. And nutrition is an important part of my routine as well. I try to eat a lot of plants and not too much sugar or processed foods, but I'm not going to go into that too much right now. Number three, exercise. The other essential part of my mental health maintenance is exercise. There's so much research that proves that exercise is great for mental health. It helps clear brain fog, and it helps reduce stress chemicals in your brain. I feel like when I exercise, it just works through a backlog of pent up emotions, and I can feel my body relax. I think it also helps me deal with anger and frustration, and I just like it. I know a lot of people exercise in the morning, but for me, back when I worked full time, I used to always go climbing or for a hike or run after work. That's when I needed it the most. And it was hard for me to get motivated in the morning, but by afternoon, I was looking forward to it. Now that I'm a full time mom, I have to be more creative in how I get my exercise in. I often just work out in the yard, gardening, digging in the dirt, and running around the yard with my wheelbarrow. Or I'll do some yoga on TV, or go for a walk with my kids, or pull them behind my bike. Now that we're stuck in our homes with the coronavirus pandemic, I'm doing more inside workouts. I like the 7-minute workouts on my phone or the Fitness Marshal on YouTube. Number four, nature time. This takes me back to another aspect of my mental health routine that is really important for me, outside time. I need nature. I need to see the sky and soak in some sun. I'm fortunate to live in a beautiful place, and I take advantage of that by getting outside. There is some research showing that sunshine and nature and being outside changes our physiology. It slows our heart rate and decreases stress chemicals and stuff. But regardless of the research, I can just feel the difference for me. If you can't get outside, open your windows, sit on your porch, or if you can't do any of that, then you could spend some time looking at beautiful landscape photography or a nature film. Your brain has the ability to bring to mind the feelings of nature just by imagining it. Number 5, my evening routine. My evening routine looks like getting my kids to bed and then taking some quiet time for myself. I usually take a hot bath and read a book or an archaeology journal. I'm kind of nerdy, but that's what I like. Even though I have very few hours to work on my passion project, these videos, I don't usually work in the evenings because it would just stress me out a little and I need the downtime to stay healthy. So then before bed, I write in my journal. I often take the time to write about my wins and accomplishments of the day so that I can remember them because it's my natural habit to dwell on my mistakes and shortcomings. So I write about my wins and then I pray a prayer of gratitude and talk with my Heavenly Father about my day. Again, gratitude practice is an essential habit of mental health, and it's been shown to be an effective treatment for depression. So you can pray about it like me, express gratitude as a family, which we do at dinner time, or write about it, whatever works for you. And then I go to bed. I try not to spend too much time looking at screens before bed, but if I do, I choose some calming documentary or a mudlarking channel, like Nicola White's. If you don't know what mudlarking is, it's just finding historical bits of treasures on Thames in London. Anyways, I find it relaxing. I encourage people not to be on TV because it's just not super great for your brain. But if you do, choose a short and calming show. Lastly, other self care. For me, that includes scheduling in some time for my hobby. I have tons of hobbies, but because I'm so busy with kids, I really don't have time to do most of them. But I make sure to carve out about 2 hours a week to do at least one of them. Right now, that's metal detecting, which is something fun and relaxing for me. I put it on the calendar so that I make sure it happens. I also take the Sabbath off. No work, no housework. I don't check my work email. I let my brain completely focus on other things. Mostly my family, which is also exhausting, but it's a day that is different from the others. And I make sure to have social time as well. Having social interactions is really essential for mental health. Our brains are inherently social. We are social creatures. So right now, this is going to be an extra challenge with the coronavirus. I'm taking the time to call up old friends. I have some groups I'm hanging out with on Zoom, and when we're not on lockdown, I meet up with friends to let the kids play or to go out to lunch or whatever. So, there you have it. My daily routine to maintain mental health. I have a careful morning routine. I make sure to get enough sleep. I get dressed every day. I exercise and get some outside time. I carve out time to relax each evening, practice gratitude, and acknowledge my successes of the day. And once a week, I make sure to get out and do something just for me. Stress, anxiety, and social isolation can all contribute to depression. But you can prevent depression during stressful times like the pandemic and social distancing by using daily habits that promote mental health. Depression is treatable, and there are some simple things you can do every day to prevent depression and stay mentally healthy. I hope you can find some things from this list that help you figure out a way to maintain your mental health today, this week, and during the crazy pandemic that we're going through. And remember,
Well, I do think that that was helpful, although we're not going through the pandemic anymore. However, so that's really great when you're maintaining your mental health that you've probably worked so hard to get to a point where you're able to do those things and keep a schedule. But for those of you who struggle to eat, to remember to eat, or to give a shit to eat, or to take a shower, or there are people who aren't able to even go outside. For those of you who go through that level of depression, don't be ashamed or scared to reach out. There are so many numbers out there, and I'm by no means a professional whatsoever. I will listen, you know, but I'm not a professional, and I would strongly encourage people to, reach out and talk to a professional. Free services, texting, anything that makes you feel comfortable, but just do it. Don't allow your brain to win on those days. just to get you to the point where you can go outside. You can eat a good meal. You can get to sleep because sleep is so important when it comes to your mental health and your clear thinking and the war against your brain. So that's what I want to say about this one. Melissa, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, you got me in the mid drink. So, I mean, having a routine definitely helps. And even if the only thing you manage to get done on a day that you're depressed is to get up and get a shower, that some days is the most you can do. And you have to be happy with that. But don't dwell on things that are bringing you down, because the more you dwell on it, the more down you're going to get. You have to focus on anything, even if it's one positive thing, a friend, a family member, an activity, a TV show you like, something, and keep working at it, whether you take it 1 second at a time, 1 day at a time, until you feel better.
Right. And on the days that you can't do that, then don't. Then don't. It's okay. And I say this to people in my life all the time. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to stay in bed if all you can do is get up to use the washroom. It's okay. Everybody has a bad day, but you can't allow your brain to win on those days. And sometimes it's a war, but you have to win. And we're so saturated with negativity when we're interested in true crime. And even for me, even on my worst day, I will go to sleep at night listening to the darkest podcast. And usually like it's gotten better. Like I'll watch I'll listen to Joseph Scott Morgan. He's a forensic pathologist. And his podcast Body Bags is more, it's great, but it's more educational than anything. But um I just it it doesn't it doesn't it doesn't bother me. uh, like this person says watch something light and calm, and I just I just prefer to listen to true crime documentaries. um but yes, every single person on the planet has a bad day, and you're welcome for doing this. When you stop and you think 13 months Jack and Lily have been missing, what can we do that would be productive? Not a lot. We can rehash the same old stuff if we wanted to, or we can look around us and realize that nobody is immune from being dragged down. And that's just this case, and not even talking about what we go through in our day-to-day lives that just adds to it. So it's easy to get it's easy to just stay in that dark place. And so we're climbing out of it together today. And then tomorrow we'll be back. I'm just kidding. We're going to be back talking about what could have happened to Jack and Lily, but we're going to try to do it differently. And all the noise and all the toxicity and negativity out there, we're just going to do our best to ignore it, because it's just eating away at our mental health. It really is. So what else today, you guys? What else do you want to do today? Mm, you know, we don't have to continue talking about this if you want. Well, thank you very much. I love my overalls. I like wearing my overalls to work in, and then I just changed into the nice little top and I took my hair out of the ponytail. Yeah. Okay, JJ, we'll talk soon. Take good care. And then, like, keep your head up. Onward and up. Fucking windshield. You guys tell yourselves that when you dwell and you feel terrible, windshield, and you just gotta think of what's gonna what's gonna help you. And for everybody it's different. But windshield. Yeah. Just windshield. Don't let the world win, honestly. When have friends chasing you down the hall, you go kind of into a dark place to protect yourself. Honestly, couldn't handle it. Apology for being personal, but the bullying unacceptable. I agree. Nice cap on you. Thank you very much. I have the sweetest. I don't know where he's from. I don't know where he's from. He's Middle Eastern, something sweetest guy in the world. But anyways, he's doing our tile. It's very slow. It drives Ian nuts. But this guy, he brings me an ice cap every morning. And I offered to give him money, and he's like, no, no. He's very polite. He's very nice. It's very sweet, but thank you. Now I can have 2 ice caps. Or on a day that he doesn't work, I'll go get myself an ice cap. Thank you so much, Helicopter. That's very nice of you. Yeah, don't let the bastards get you down. That's right. And if you need a day in bed, they call it, I think they call it bed rotting. Mm, I don't, I don't love that term, but there have been days. Don't get me wrong, not anymore. My back and my hips will not allow me to stay in bed for too long. Just putting that out there. So I do not have these couch days or whatever. If I'm sick, yes, but then I pay for it the next day with my sore body. But if you're not able to get up and do the things that this woman has suggested, or if you're not able to literally go touch grass or feel the sun on your face or the rain on your face, anything, if you're not able to do that, then that's okay. Just, you know, just take the time you need, but then you have to force yourself. Kids take mental health days now out from school here. Joe Neal, and I want to ask you because you said you can counsel anything, and I know what kind of courses you're taking. Were you joking with that, or were you honestly offering to be an ear for somebody? Because I mean, there's a time and a place, Joe. So if you're offering something like that, that's amazing. But that's probably what's driving Ian nuts. Strange man bringing. Hey, number 1, Roots, he hired him. And number 2, Ian could go get the ice cap just as easy. And number 3, he's happy that I don't gotta spend my money on an ice cap because he knows I'm getting one every day regardless. So he loves it. So yeah, when you're feeling tired, rest, but never, ever, ever quit. And these songs are running across the bottom. Those are just 3. And if I find any more, like if I think of any more, I'm gonna post them on my community. Fuck it. You know, we need to we need to have a positive place to go. And some days, even this channel is not positive. It's we come here, and I know Sunny showed the picture that she made after the clown with the devil horns and the fierce eyes. Like I looked pretty good in that picture that they made of me. I'm not gonna lie, kind of like it. But Sunny made one so that I didn't have to be the clown, devil clown by myself. So she's good friends. And don't get me wrong, you guys, that's not what set me off. Everything that bothers me to that level is definitely not on YouTube. It's nobody here, nobody that is negative towards me on the internet has the ability to penetrate my heart and soul. So Belinda here. I look like evil Erica Kirk with red hair though. Am I right? I I look pretty fierce. Those eyebrows. What's the saying? On fleek. Good job. I just Yes, sure. I'm not a professional, but I can suggest real life solutions. Generally, I suggest complete abstinence from drugs, alcohol, seeing a psychiatrist, getting balance with meds. But we're talking about in the moment, Joe, when somebody is in crisis or doesn't have the confidence or, you know, they cannot call for help, but they just want a ear to listen to them, you know. Those are very technical and clinical suggestions, absolutely, and helpful suggestions to people who are past the point of not being able to think clearly. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Erica Kirk looks like evil. Oh my gosh, this is so true, strawberry wine. Kids struggle when parents struggle. Kids see everything and they absorb everything that they're exposed to, whether it's swearing or true crime or arguing or violence or bullying, belittling. They pick it up. They're sponges. They're sponges. And I don't agree with the um I don't agree with the um micromanaging helicopter parenting. I think it's important. It's more important now than ever that we know where our kids are and what they're doing at all times. I get that. But they need to be able to make mistakes and they need to be able to get up and fix those mistakes on their own in order to learn how to adult, you know? But sure, it's so hard for us to be positive, but guess what? You bring light to a rainy day, always and forever. Thank you, helicopter. Mm. They're actually talking about making the school week 4 days in New Brunswick in order to increase attendance. Kids are struggling. And you know, why is that? The expectation that's placed on kids to be popular, to be an influencer, um to be beautiful, to be thin or thick or, you know, perfect eyebrows, the best false lashes. Do you know what I mean? Like there's this whole societal expectation that's unfairly put on our kids at an extremely young age compared to where I came from. But then you throw in even something as simple as the price of gas right now in our country and probably in the United States too. That feeds into the stress of the parents and the long work hours that prevent families from having dinner together at night. And you know what I mean? Like it's such a vicious cycle that we're in now. Social media plays a huge role in the rates of mental health struggles. Absolutely. Unrealistic expectations for sure. The filters on TikTok and Snapchat. Well, great. I love putting, you know, a pair of donkey ears on Harley once in a while, but the beauty filters and stuff, and then these girls they're doing their dances with their flawless skin and stuff and they don't look like that, or they're doing makeup tutorials where they've got 16 layers of makeup on their face and then when they wash it off at night they think they're ugly. They don't realize they don't need a single drop of that makeup to be gorgeous. You know? It's a vicious cycle. Vicious cycle. Very unreal expectations, mad as catter. Yeah, social media is, and that's okay, so that's another side of this whole YouTube thing. When I was just appearing on Sunny's once in a while and I was mostly in her chat, I became very attached to the people in that chat room. They they were a community, you know. These channels, these communities that we build, we become part of the lives of some of the people that come here regularly. And same for the creator. And I'm sure Melissa understands us too. We recognize your names, even if they're not your real names. We recognize you and we enjoy talking to you, and you become part of our day-to-day lives. And when we're going through a hard time, sometimes all you want to do is chat with your friends. So that, you know, That's good too. But then again, it's also important to remember that it's real life and real people on the other side of these cases. Um, yeah, that's, that's what I got to say about that for now. Melissa, will you talk and go through chat for a bit? I have to pee, and it takes me a little bit longer because I have to, you know, unbuckle.
I don't really know what to. I'm seriously over here about to fall out from exhaustion, y'all. Like, really. When I'm having a bad day, I stop and think about all the blessings in my life, right? I mean, even if it's just one thing, the fact that you woke up that morning, focus on it. I've not heard this before, but I like it. Helicopter Grandma. The sexiest curve on your body is your smile. Want it. Times are tough and many people are suffering, especially children. Yes. And it's hard to understand what kids are going through to some extent because we're not used to talking about feelings if you're Gen X. That was just something that we didn't talk about on a regular basis. Feed the toilet while you're Joe, go sit in the car. This too shall pass. Yes, it always does. Sometimes it takes longer for some people for the feeling to pass, and others, maybe a day. Whereas somebody else might face the same issue and it takes them longer, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you choose to get back up and fight. Don't give up. Don't let life or a situation beat you. Don't choose a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That is something that I've heard so many times. Belinda, I wish I could, but I work. When I'm working, I work anywhere from 10 to midnight. So there's not a lot of sleep to be had. So when I get home, very exhausted. I sleep when I can. I'll sleep when I'm dead. I got lots of time then. We can all help even in small ways. I take a box of cereal, yogurt, whatever breakfast things are on sale to the local school. That's a good idea. Oh, Joe, I'm sure we can put enough diesel in that bus to turn on the AC. I am very much so. So my brother owns a company and I help him root strength. And that could be anywhere from driving loads for the company to working whatever he needs me to do. Oh. I cried today reading a fictional story about 32 Hells Angels surrounding a little 6-year-old girl, saving her from her kidnapper. That's how I know I didn't take one of my meds. Dude, I watched, I forget what show it was a couple weeks ago. One of my normal shows. Like, I cry at this point when people on my normal shows die. It's like, really? I don't know. It was last year. I said I'm becoming a weenie because I cried when this penguin died at a aquarium. Thank you all for joining us here. Spread love, patience, and acceptance. Good night. Never let anyone make you feel less than you truly are. All. Hugs to all. Yes.
I found the perfect way to end this live stream. Mike MX, our good friend Mike MX, has put out a new video. It's called Jack and Lily, the 267. And I think it's a really great way because he's got such a relaxing voice. And this is, you know, in honor of Jack and Lily today. So let's watch this, and then we'll say some closing words. And I have to unshare something first, though, so that I can bring this up and share my sound because I unshared my sound before. Okay, let's watch this right now. I haven't seen it yet, Helicopter. I don't think so. I don't think so. He usually just sticks to the facts of the case, and he has some really good thoughts and really good insight. And we absolutely love his accent. So it's delightful. So we're going to watch it. Okay, so make it big. There it is right there. Mike MX. We all know where to find him. But let's watch this and we'll talk when it's done.
Hey, going for a little walk, and something has been puzzling me for a long time, and it's about the bus, and it's about the pink blanket. And Ninchi last year did ask a question of an RCMP officer about the blanket to try and confirm rumors, and the officer got back to her, and part of the quote was. And it goes like this. Investigators did review morning footage from a passing school bus, but the video quality was too poor to confirm whether the blanket was there/not there. Okay, well, fair enough, but to me, the morning buses, they were gone well before 9. Um, and if the blanket was planted, it was likely planted sometime before the RCMP got there at 10:27. So if I'm right about that, there would be no blanket there to be seen in any case. But there is 2 other afternoon buses, and the later bus from the secondary school, that was around 4 o'clock, and that was around the time that the RCMP collected the blanket from the tree. I won't even talk about that time. I want to talk about the 2:42 bus, and it's the bus from the elementary school, and it's bus 269, Brian Ward's bus. And as far as we can tell, that bus was running that day, and it was running on time because um, there is a social media reference, and if the bus is late or cancelled or anything like that, it goes up on this social media post. And for that day, there was no posting. So as far as I can tell, the bus was on the road that day, but I can't confirm that. Um, I can say there is other children in the same area that do get that bus. So it's very likely that bus did do its full route, even though Jack and Lily were not to be on that bus. Okay. So what has bothered me about this 242 bus, and I'm calling it the 242 bus. It probably has its other own local name, like Brian Ward's bus, but it most likely has another local nickname to it. But I'm calling it the 242 bus because in the documents, that's when Daniel assisted Jack and Lily to get off that bus to go home. Okay. Yeah, and what's really bothered me the whole time is the way that email reply went to Ninchi. And to requote it, it was like video quality was too poor to confirm whether the blanket was there / not there. That's bothered me. Because the school buses have several cameras, and as far as I can tell, the lowest quality is 2 megapixel. So I said to myself, I must try this at some stage to see, can it be confirmed. Like, obviously I'm not in the country, but I can closely match up distances and scenarios, and try it to see, would a blanket be visible at that range with that low resolution 2 megapixel video camera. And I got an old 2016 Asus tablet that has a 5 megapixel camera on the back, the main camera, but the selfie or the front camera is 2 megapixel. So I used it as the video camera to see, would a blanket be seen. And as well as that, I got a much smaller blanket, as in the blanket size I got was 36 inches by 27 inches. And that is roughly 1/5 of the size of the original pink blanket. And I don't know how much of the original blanket the piece that was in the tree is, but even if it was half or less, this blanket I'm using is still smaller, as a test piece for a distance check to see would it be visible. And I'll just show the tablet I'm using, and I'll show the blanket I'm using as well, just for a reference. Okay, from the pink blanket location, we get up to about 13 yards to the middle of the road. The test was at 17 yards, which is nearly the far side of the road. Okay, we'll continue on. Okay, the moment of truth. And we're using the front camera on this. That's the back camera there. 2 megapixel front camera, and straight away from the still image, there's the blanket. 1/5 the size of the original blanket at 17 yards of a test. And just to get the ball rolling, 2 directions, reverse and forward. And it can be easily seen on this 2 megapixel camera. Okay, we'll continue on. Okay, so with that 2 megapixel front camera on that old tablet, the blanket can be seen moving from a moving vehicle, should I say, at 17 yards, which is almost the other side of that gravel road. So, what can I say? And as far as I can tell, the school buses were equipped with 2 megapixel cameras. And if someone wants to check that up as best they can, they're more than welcome because I'm open to being corrected. But that test blanket I was using was like a fifth the size of the original blanket, and it would even be only 2/3 the size of half that original blanket. So it's a fairly good test piece. And the distance at 17 meters is a few more meters than the middle of the road. So when the RCMP officer said the video quality was too poor to confirm whether the blanket was there, not there, on that morning, I'd be inclined to think the blanket actually wasn't there. And then, did the RCMP even check that early afternoon bus from the elementary school? Did they check the footage from it to see, or are they actually holding that footage close to the chest? It's hard to know. Um, it's hard to know what their strategy is. It's easy to see why several people had to do polygraphs over this blanket because they arrived at Gerlock Road before that early afternoon bus. And it's unfortunate, really, because if they had have arrived after that bus, maybe they wouldn't have been included in the polygraphs at all. That's just a maybe. And it's a lot more questions than answers, and I hope the RCMP can make sense out of it. For Jack and Lily, take care. Good luck.
Hey guys, thanks so much for
Hey
checking out
guys,
my show.
I'm right here. I wasn't sleeping, I swear. I'm just kidding. I wasn't sleeping. I was watching other stuff, just trying to see, making sure there's nothing else. Like, there's plenty, like, on the internet. It can be useful, you know. But I know that Melissa is tired. I think this has been a good live stream where we, you know, talk about one of the hardest subjects, if we're being honest, the hardest subjects for a lot of us. Um, and just know that, it doesn't make you weak to ask for help. It um it's not selfish to take a day or the time you need to feel better. And it's also so important to remember the things that make you happy and do them, and do the things that make you happy. And no matter how bad things get, there's always something. It might be something stupid like a song, but there's always something. And I highly suggest listening to the songs when I post them on my community. And you guys can go in there and post things on the community as well. Feel free to post songs. You don't have to post the actual video, but you can post song names and just, you know, share on the community page. And if you need to talk, reach out, and I will make that donation. And I thank you everybody for being here. What's your schedule like, Melissa? What's going on with you? What's your schedule like coming up?
So I know I have a couple days off. I have to be in hospital again tomorrow, for a procedure again. So you guys probably won't see me again until Thursday, and hopefully I'm a little more rested by then.
Thursday, hey? I might. There's no reason for me not to do a live stream tomorrow. We are so close to being done staining. I only have like 8 doors left. I'm gonna do some more tonight, do some more tomorrow morning, but you know, sorry, I got distracted by chat. Yeah. Take care, Melissa. I will talk to you soon. And anybody else, reach out. I put my actual name in the chat. I suggest going back, watch the replay. And, you know, the replay chat is available. Sometimes it takes like a few hours, but you can replay the live chat. And this one is probably the only time I'll ask you to go back through the replay chat, because there's some really good ideas and things that people do to take care of their own mental health. And we're a community, and we're going to decide to do better together. And if nobody else is willing to do that on here, then I suggest don't watch. It's sad, and I don't like saying that, because each to their own. But nothing that we have to say on YouTube, and I don't care who I'm talking about, nothing you hear on YouTube is worth your mental health. So take your breaks and take care of yourselves and be nice to each other. That's all. Bye, Melissa. Have a great night. Thanks for being here, everybody. And Melissa's keychain is on the way. Not quite, I'm lying, but I will get it on the way this week. And the one that was returned to me also. Wait, question, I don't know. The jewels thing? I don't know. I think like every month you get jewels that you can give to different channel. It probably helps with the algorithm. I don't know, Lynn. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, if you give me jewels, if I could, I'd wear them like a crown. Anyway, all right. Thank you, everybody, for your expose them all. Take some me time and breathe, and come back a better person. If we're talking about getting off YouTube, come back and just be positive. This is such a dark subject. Jack and Lily, 13 months, you guys, still missing, but we can be a light, I guess. It's money, it's a penny. There's no such thing as pennies anymore. Either way, I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the love and support, and thanks everybody. Yes, Terry Lynn, it is over. Just ending now. You're sending me a Burberry. That's very nice of you. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Okay. That's enough, you guys. That's enough of this. Sarah, I wish you were here for this one. You've got, not that my mods didn't do a bang up job today with their resources and stuff, but Sarah is the go-to mod for all the resources and stuff that she posts. So fantastic. Again, you guys go back, watch the replay, pay attention to the live replay. The chat replay takes about like an hour or maybe sometimes more to load it so you can watch the replay, but so many good suggestions. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great night, everybody. You want to borrow Harley? He's yours. I'm just kidding. Okay. Do you want to say goodbye, Melissa, or did you already?
Good night, everybody.
She's probably already sleeping. All right. That's enough. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for being here.
We're going down. We're going down. We're going